So common folk and the family expect prison. Acquittal is expected by the revolutionaries. Okay, there's nothing else to do then. Right, one of the local merchants, Guy Dniao, went to the National Guard station near the halls. With a raised voice, he stated that the owner of a neighbouring stall had purposely poured wood tar into his barrel of herrings. For this supposed crime, Dniao demanded a proper punishment. Soldiers went to the halls and established the herrings did indeed taste awful. Since there was no evidence of the crime, they did not take action. A few hours later, the guards returned to the halls. This time it was the formerly accused Jean Gobi who called for them, and there was a plethora of evidence on site, the clearest being Dniao himself smashing his neighbour's stall with a long wooden pole in front of witnesses. No. Okay. I would like to report that citizen Gobi does not pay the city for a stall. Furthermore, he openly criticised the new rule when talking to to his clients. So that's going to be why the revolutionaries are posting. How do I get to page 2? Oh, the furious merchant was shaking his fist and yelling, "Where were you when the scoundrel stole my place near the entrance?" Okay. Guards did not stop to ask for details, but disarmed the vigorous merchant to put him in a trial. While drawing up the report, one of the officers found an old denunciation that had been written by Dniao 2 years ago. So, unlock questions. So, right, there's 4. Okay. Oh, I keep thinking that these combine, but they don't. The wooden pole is the instrument of the crime. I think that I would assume counter-revolutionary propaganda and counter-revolution go together. Stall next to the entrance is the crime scene. And the old denunciation, offender's personality? Yeah. There we go. I think... Ooh, protocol. Review the trials records. Oh, okay, so we'll hear back. We can go re-review things because there's probably a lot of questions. Your name? Dniao. Fresh Finch since 1772. And a vandal since yesterday? I'm not proud of what I did, but enough is enough. Really? Like when 6 months ago you stole 8 francs from my revenue? Some urchin took that from your pockets while you were... Silence! You shall not speak until questioned. Systematically opposing the opinion of the jury may lead to serious consequences. So we want to kind of steer the jury. Okay, so... Incidents on the juries, we don't know. Come closer. You see, I've got to work out what I want to do. So I want to kind of appease the common folk, because I've kind of irritated them for a bit of reputation. So I do want to get the common folk more on my side. So I kind of want to push the jury towards this side in the hope that it kind of gets them on edge. Well, not on edge, but towards the prison. But no, let's think. Okay, so let's think. What products does Citizen Gobi sell? Citizen Gobi sell fruit and vegetables, and you sell fish. Straight from Ypres and Petite Dalle. Petite Dalle, I think. I see. Then why did one of you come to the halls with wood tar and the other with wood and pole? Ah, you were making it up, citizen. I don't remember. The sticks must have been lying in the stall. Gobi, however, clearly planned his actions. Okay, so they're actually pro-release, are they? It would appear that your conflict has continued for some time now. It all started when that scoundrel placed his stall where mine should be, next to the entrance. It wasn't your place. You took it after old Choquette. Silence. You've not been able to reach an agreement ever since? Now that I think of it, it may have started even earlier. Jean once refused to pay for a red mullet taken by his wife. My whole family fell ill because of that rotten carcass. You shouldn't be happy I didn't. Must I repeat myself? Be quiet, or you'll both be in more trouble than you are already. All right. So they're now in favour of prison. Like, no, I need to stop thinking about this. Like, this is in my head. Like, there's all these numbers and I want to do it. No, I think we will talk about the denunciation. We found your denunciation of Citizen Gobi. Why did you write it? You did it because I started selling sprats. Shut up already. Monsieur le Juge. I just wanted to help the city. Every storeholder pays for their place in the halls. Gobi should pay too. You liar and crook. Don't you remember hiding from the royal collectors at the butchers? Silence. I was trying to avoid royal taxes. You only started after the beginning of the revolution. Be quiet, both of you. So now it's back to thingy should be released. Although I don't like that the kind of the tie point is release. What's that? Come closer. Ah, you, sir. Is it true that you took Yi Denyao's place at the entrance of the halls? Oh, you're Kobe, aren't you? He took the place first from a dead merchant, only did the same at a convenient time. Was that your first conflict? In the late 70s, when that tight-fisted churl asked me to lend him 30 francs, it took me 2 years to get it back. Citizen Denyao, I can see that you wish to add something, but please refrain from doing so. Why did you have wood tar with you? Ooh. Oh, I lock out... Oh, I'm locking out one of the questions. So actually, asking that question has pulled it. Why did you have wood tar with you that day? I sell fruit, but my supplies sometimes buy wood tar because it repels pests. And why did you pour it into Citizen Denyao's barrel? I did nothing of the sort. He probably poured it himself so as to denounce me again. Liar! Calm down. Okay, now that's pushed it. I've got no more questions I can ask. I think I've got to try and balance all of this stuff, like the revolutionaries and whatnot. I want to boost my thing with the common folk, and the jury says prison, the common folk say prison, my family think prison. The revolutionaries want acquittal. That might hurt me here, admittedly. But I think we have to go with prison. The jury votes in favour of incarcerating the defendant. They find the punishment sufficient. So I can't choose to have him killed. But we'll go with prison. Oh my goodness. Like, acquittal really irritates that, yeah. I think we have to go with prison. It boosts me with the common folk. Risk of death. But yeah, the revolutionary's there. I think we go prison. Seems that the prisoners will have to start buying fish elsewhere. Citizen Denyao, I sentenced you to prison for vandalism. Better warn the guards that they won't have an easy life. Do not believe the people will be happy with such a severe penalty. What are you talking about, the people? Or do you mean the people rather than the people? Influence of the jury. I don't know what that means, because I just went along. I agreed with them? Does that not have an impact? After trial, click to move on to the next part. Yeah, common folk plus 6. So that balances out where we went wrong, where we kind of failed. I wonder, I mean, obviously you've got to balance, like, assume if you go against the revolutionaries, they, mysteriously something comes up and you get called for, the possibility of a visit from, a short back and sides from Madame Guillotine. And if the common folk, they just riot and bring you down or something. Well, let's go next, see what happens. May I remind you that promise to join me? I have a feeling that tonight's moon favours gamblers. It does not favour spouses. God should grant graces with wives who understand the importance of an evening game of dice. They should also know that the right amount of wine guarantees a lucky roll. I should go home. Bringing a judge to the game has benefits. Other players will surely not cheat. That is not a strong argument. My name is Jacques-Louis David. I am but a humble painter, not a silver-tongued judge. You're a sly politician, Jacques. As a politician, I understand the importance of keeping promises, and you, my friend, are trying to get out of yours. Now I'm going to go home. Not tonight, Jacques. Which might actually lower my reputation with the revolutionaries even more. I went home. Game, I went home. See, there we are. Happy family. Is that a heart? Ah. If it is, ah. If it's not, I rescind my ah. Ah. She's really happy we've come home. Ah. Gonna be a good dad. Good husband. Good man. I'm so going to die. Late evening, the judge's house. What? Do you not want to berate me like you always do? Come on, dude. I'm glad you're home. Are you aware that Frederic sometimes imagines you as a deep-sea sailor? He dreams that you visit distant countries and have wonderful adventures. but he would rather have you by his side on land. We all want that. I don't want to watch the storm blow your lifeboat away and bury it beneath the waves. There are no waves. The storm is getting closer. Dark clouds already hang over the shore. Just wait until they finish building the guillotine. Your oars will break at once, and the waves will take you to a place you'll wish you'd never set foot on. I'm sure. A place without us. Aww. Your family loves you, but we won't find you in the darkness that has already begun to reach for you. Right. Oh, what? Upon returning home, you can decide how you'd like to spend the rest of your day. Okay, so each action will affect the other members of your family as well as their attitude towards you. Each character's attitude can provide you with or deprive you of certain bonuses, e.g. reputation or relations with factions. Your youngest son is special. His attitude makes the other family members like you slightly more. Take good care of him. He's going to die, isn't he? Right, so... Okay, I thought it was having an impact. Oh, no, I think it is. I think because I think maybe he's impacted by my relationship with the people as well. Playtime with the children. Spend your evening and your energy on carefree playtime with your sons. Your wife's needs can wait. Evening with grandfather. Sit down with your father and stories of bygone. Viola concerto. Bernard needs to learn how to deal with stage fright if he wants to be a professional musician. You'll have to endure an hour of racket. But that means all three of these are going to get boosts, which is going to be good. Now, Aldrich Fidel, he's already quite high. He's my strongest. I think it makes sense, just to make an apology for these guys. So I think that's what I'll do. The Viola concerto, and we'll all go together. Oh, that's a bit lower than I thought it'd be. That went down a lot faster than I thought it would. Yay, got reputation bonus. And that now has a bonus of everyone liking me a bit more. Except it didn't go up. Day 2 of Liberté. Today, the people of Paris commemorate Jacques Guillaume Simonot, mayor of Étampes. He was lynched by a furious mob for performing his duties to France. This march shall symbolise the unity of our society, and I hope that the most violent stage of the revolution is past us. Oh boy, let us make sure that no other loyal servant of France becomes a victim of such hatred ever again. Roi Louis says. No, says me. King Louis XVI. It's funny because he'll get executed. Simonot was a good loyal officer. Those guys lynched him for observing the law. Will you join me at the march? Yes. How am I going to play it? Am I going to be a royalist? A counter-revolutionary hiding within the law? I'm so going to die. We ought to show that we oppose the self-appointed executioner stand alongside the victims. I wonder why the king has taken the trouble to show up. Louis XVI marching arm in arm with the people of Paris? That is unexpected. Maybe he's hoping it will keep him alive. Bless him. King Louis. Continue, please. I'm merely an observer. Do not change your habits for me. I heard a thing or two about a young and ambitious judge of the tribunal. I was curious whether he was guided by justice or by, entertainment, as some would say. Oh, right. Reputation, good relationship with wife, which gives me a bonus to reputation. Now 3. Younger son loves you like he used to back in better days. Revolutionaries low, common folk high. Poor papa, notre famille. Ah, and that's him, and that's me. Ah, and it's granddad. Well, his granddad, not mine. Ah. Right. Oh, this is so bad. Oh, this is so bad. Ooh, we have new people. The aging commander of the National Guard is seen enough to not put trust in ordinary people, even if they're able to start a revolution. An artist and politician, his paintings often refer to the revolution. When it comes to his political career, he's an efficient deputy of the convention. Those two areas of his life are blending together and feeding back on themselves. For example, when he led the closure of the Académie Française, the same institution that rejected him for many years. He is a longtime friend of Judge Fidel. Oh dear, oh dear. I think I need to imprison you just to keep him with the revolutionaries, otherwise I'm going to be in trouble. The defendant is Olivier Mugler, a 65-year-old master locksmith who is famed among Parisian burglars as an expert on unopenable locks. Last month, he was commissioned by the owners of a Parisian glassworks, Jean Rude, Louis Roux, and Ferdinand Selin, to construct locks for ornate chests for valuables, presumably as gifts for their wives. The craftsman praised his latest invention as thief-proof. Shortly following their completion, the industrialist's houses were hit by a series of burglaries committed by a recent newcomer to Paris, Hector Vien. The thief from Orléans was caught in an act and shot by Ferdinand Selin. An expensive Turgot map of Paris with the houses of the recently robbed industrialists marked on it was found on the deceased. Surprisingly, Selin had given Mugler an identical map as advance payment. This deposit was in addition to the agreed remuneration from all the employers. Further interesting information came from the owner of the Ginger Margot Inn. She recalled that on the night preceding the burglary, the locksmith met there with a man she didn't recognise. Based on her description, we were able to identify him as the aforementioned Hector Vien. The men allegedly engaged in an evening of drinking sponsored by Mugler. Evidence: a map of Paris found on Hector Vien. Okay, so the offender's personality: master locksmith. A course of events: series of burglaries. Drinking evenings, the accusation. Ooh, oh dear. Marks on the map. Evidence. Map of Paris. Evidence. What's the accusation? Okay, so some of these are immediately crossed out. Oh, because I don't understand. Course of events. Okay. Famous thief. Yeah, that's there. Okay, so that's now done. So we've only got these two to go. Lock construction. Is the course of events? Famous thief evidence? There we go. We only got one wrong. Right. Converse. Robbing the bourgeoisie is no crime. According to the case file, you're citizen Olivier Mugler. Is that correct? Indeed it is, monsieur le juge. Juge. May I have a request? I'd like to sit down. I'm an old man, you see. Basic respect for the judiciary requires that you remain standing. Do the names Selin, Rude, and Roux mean anything to you? I know that in the British court system, certainly the modern one, if you were incapable of standing sufficiently long time, you could ask for a chair. You would be allowed. Having been a juror several times. Three times. Why are you so determined to harass an old man? They sound like the names of my debtors. Debtors? They're the victims of activities you conducted. You mean locksmithing? Alright. How much did you charge for your service? You were commissioned by the victims to make chest locks. Who installed them? It was me, naturally, and all in agreement with the contract. My job was to prepare and install the locks, and the employer was only to come and see whether the work was completed. And pay, of course. Was the installation carried out at your workshop? No, on site, at the client's property. None of those idlers bothered to deliver the trunks to my workshop, so I had to strain my old legs. Does that mean you knew the addresses of the victims? How else would I get there? Blindfolded and on a wagon? Did you know Hector Vien? Did you know Hector Vien before? It's the first time I've heard the name. This is interesting, as you were seen draining several bottles of wine together at the Ginger Margot Inn. Is that a crime? No, but the question is, why are you denying it now? Was your drinking spree just a deception for discussing the burglary? Nobody I had a drink with introduced themselves as Hector. I didn't plan any heist with the Hector Victor Hugo. I think he ran... Victor Hugo, I think, was in exile after the revolution. He was in Jersey, I think. I'm a locksmith and I earn good money from it. Burglaries are for vagrants without a job. Right, so we've got that a little bit.